Surya Yalamanc, and I know that can be hard to pronounce. Example. So you can feel free to call me Chili. I'm happy to answer any questions as well. Certainly won't take offense. Actually, I don't need the microphone. I'm just gonna. I'd rather project. That's okay. We do. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So my name again is Surya Yalamanc. You can call me Chili. I'm running for the 2nd Congressional District seat as a Democrat, and I just wanted to introduce myself and tell you a little bit about why I'm running. My parents immigrated from India about 40 years ago. I was born in Pennsylvania, grew up in New Jersey. Both my parents very blue collar. My mom worked at the post office. She worked nights. She'd get up at around 1 a.m., go to work at 2 a.m., get home at around noon or 1 o'clock and do that 6 nights a week. And she split up her sleep schedule so my brother and I would be able to see her when we came home from school. My dad delivered newspapers, worked in a factory, did whatever jobs were available so that we could, their kids could have a better life. And from them, my brother and I, we both learned a work ethic, and I've worked all my life. Like a lot of people probably in this room, shovel driveways, rake leaves, sold greeting cards door to door. Did that as I was in middle school. When I got to high school, I was lucky enough to be in high school at around the same time as the internet was first starting. And so I built a web design company, and I started designing websites for local businesses, and eventually I started cold calling companies in other parts of the country. I didn't tell them I was 15. I just said, here's an example of my work, here's what I charge. We had clients in California and Wisconsin, Florida, spread out throughout the country, and that was a great experience, and I learned a lot, and I was able to save some money which I could use for college. I went to college at Rutgers University, studied finance and psychology, and while I was at Rutgers, my first 2 years I worked full-time at a company called Allegiant Media. They paid my tuition and they salaried me, and I was happy to work full-time, and I took classes at night, at lunchtime, early mornings, so that way my parents, what they had saved from my college fund could turn into a little bit of their retirement fund, and I knew that they had sacrificed a lot for me, and this was the least I could do. But the best thing that happened to me when I was at Rutgers was I got an internship at Procter & Gamble in 2001. I came out here for the summer, and I instantly fell in love with both the company as well as the city. I bought a home here in 2003 in the East End, where I still live, and I spent 5 years at P&G. I was a brand manager. I worked on the Olay brand. I'm sure some of you are looking up here and asking yourself, is this guy even old enough to run for Congress? And I assure you I am, and it's because of the Olay. I actually use the product, and that's why I look so young. But I spent 5 years at P&G, and before I was done at P&G, I got recruited to head out to a company called LinkedIn in Silicon Valley to head up their marketing. And so I did that. It was a great opportunity, and in some ways, when I was in Silicon Valley, this was a lot of what my parents had worked for and what I had worked for come to fruition. I didn't have to worry about paying my bills. I was able to save a lot of money, and I was achieving some degree of professional success. But at the same time, you open up the newspaper and you read about 17% unemployment, underemployment, people who stop looking for work. You read about people who are losing their homes and kids who are quitting college so they can help their parents keep their homes or just pay the bills. And for somebody who benefited tremendously from my parents' hard work and their sacrifice for me, from my mentors, from other family members, this just didn't sit well. It just kind of wrought me with anxiety, and you know, I consider my story not to be unique. It's very similar to many others. It's literally part of the American dream that parents can work hard and their kids can have a better life and they can enjoy upward mobility. And that's why I'm running, because I see that as being in great danger right now. So I quit my job. I'm living off savings to run for Congress because we need to help rebuild the middle class. We need to make sure there are manufacturing jobs available. We need to make sure that in the 2nd District especially, just like the rest of Ohio, it's much harder hit than the rest of the country. So we need to rebuild manufacturing by having regulatory and tax policies that allow American manufacturers and American workers to compete on a level playing field with other countries. And that's the only way we're going to get out of this economic mess. It's not going to be by Band-Aids. It's going to be by making sure that we're allowing our companies to invest in real jobs. And so I'm a first-time candidate, never run for office before, yet I've been endorsed by Cincinnati's Mayor, Mark Mallory, the former Democratic nominees for this seat, Paul Hackett, Vic Wilson, Tom Lucan, the last Democrat to win this seat 30 years ago, so we've got quite the challenge here, as well as his son, Charlie Lucan, the 4-time mayor of Cincinnati. And all of these elected officials and the 2 candidates who have faced Gene Schmidt have endorsed me, even though I've never run for office before, because they know that I represent the values that they fought and worked so hard for. They know that I'll stand up for the 2nd District, and they know that I can beat Gene Schmidt by keeping the focus on her record, which she hasn't done for the people of the 2nd District over the last 5 years. And so I'm running for office for the 2nd District to stand up for you, for everybody in this room, as well as the rest of the people in the 2nd District. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have, and I thank you very much for your time. Thank you.